man, the peat on this is exquisite. It's not ashy. It's like a combination of wood and heather, and I don't know what they do with their peat, but man.
What is up, everybody?
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
Four guys in the Scotch journey help you with your next Scotch purchase.
Maybe. This is brand spanking new.
Well, they're pretty new. Well, it's a new kid on the block.
It's definitely a new kid on the block. Not the newest one in Scotland, but definitely 2000.
Newer? 14?
It's new to us.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of bottles out there. This is actually a bottle that is what's considered their core release.
What is this?
Which is interesting because they really don't do a lot of core releasing. But it's Ardnamurchan, and this is the Ardnamurchan. It just says Ardnamurchan AD. Their old labeling used to have number sequences behind that, which was like the month, day, and year. But they stopped doing that. This was actually, what's it say? Doggone it. 2022, I think, is when this one was bottled.
Okay.
And this is the one you're going to find on shelves if you go looking, right? This is the common one you'll find.
If you scan the QR code on the back, it tells you everything about this.
Very transparent.
I mean, like literally to the guy that was running the still the day this distillate came out.
I like
what
that.
book was he reading?
It tells you every single cask that they put in there, what it was in the cask, how old the cask was, what it was made of, what the size was, all that of every single, and the cask number in the
super
batch.
transparent.
It feels like a lot of these distilleries are going, like now that technology is becoming more a part of the distillery, so they have that information, they're happy to share it. You know, when you have like the log books that they're writing
little
down,
more tricky.
like Jack laid this barrel down, I think it's like 12 years, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's Jack's signature.
Good old Jack.
Maybe
I don't know, man, but they do a good job about being transparent about what they've got.
Where are they located?
So
Western
where are they?
Highlands?
Yeah. So it's, from what I understand, it's a pretty tough distillery to get to. Just on the mainland side, if you'll refer to Scotland as the mainland, of the Isle of Mull. So
Okay, gotcha.
western coast, owned by Adelphi, which is a very prominent independent bottler. We all love. I know I do. But they actually own the distillery, and they're pretty new. They're very well received. There's a lot of people making a lot of noise about Ardnamurchan, so I'm really excited to get my nose in here.
Price and ABV?
$85 to $90 for this bottle.
And it's 46.8.
46 point. Okay.
So,
Right.
How about to the nose, boys?
Let's see what's going on here.
Hello.
This has got some.
We know
A little peatiness in there.
we know what the casking is on
Somebody
this?
needs to hit that code.
You have it on your phone.
Yeah, I had it open.
Just curious.
Okay, so it does have. I hate to say it, but a little Lafroig on the nose, almost medicinal.
Right, this one's supposed to be have some peat on it. So there you go. You nailed that, Drew.
Wow, I'm coming in swinging.
But it's interesting because it also has like floral notes that I don't normally associate with a peated Scotch.
Yeah.
Like it's
That's
got like
true.
a lightness and like a spring honey quality to it. In addition to like, but we're gonna take the flowers and burn them.
It's like some
a little
serious
bit.
seasoning, some different seasoning on top of there. I'm not sure what that is, like lemon zest and.
To be honest with you, there's a ton going on. I need more than 10 minutes to break this nose down because there's just, every time I take a sniff, there's something else in there.
Oh!
He's not even waiting. He's just going in.
Oh, let's talk about the nose.
So tell me
We
what
gotta
the
get it.
casking is, though.
Well, do you want the whole spreadsheet, or I mean, that's the thing. It's like a spreadsheet of naming each barrel, and I don't have the codes. Like when is HHB, and so I don't know all the.
Okay.
I just
codes
wanted
on
the
barrels.
general casking, and
They don't tell you that.
like, is it 30% peat, 60% unpeated? Or,
I'm guessing HHB
It's
is
about
all
half
said.
and half, quite honestly.
okay.
It's about half and half. There's about probably 60 or 80 barrels in this batch.
It smells a little hotter too than what it says it is on the ABV. I think it's probably the peat.
Andrew's
Very
gonna
much
like this
so.
one.
So I'm getting Well, so you get peat, and I agree with the floral on the nose.
All right, boys, to the tasting.
Yeah.
It's good.
So I actually get like a dirt note on the nose, not
Yeah.
like a black dirt, And as far as the peat, you said Lafroig, right? And we all know your description of Lafroig.
Yeah.
I actually get like a burnt plastic on the nose.
No, man, the peat on this is exquisite. It's not ashy. It's like a combination of wood and heather, and I don't know what they do with their peat, but man,
That's actually
Ooh.
two good combos, heather, peat. Like that's a really good combo there because it's not like a super ashy,
that's really
but it's a nice lighter version of peat, but still.
Exactly.
It's got a it's a drier finish, but it's got some kind of a woody flavor to it that I can't quite put my finger on. Almost like when you smoke meat a little bit. That's got like a fruit wood or something. It's a really interesting dram.
I think that's the advantage of using about half the barrels have peated whiskey and half the barrels have unpeated whiskey in it. So when you blend that together, you pull up the wood from the unpeated barrels.
Maybe.
So what I was thinking was, what does this taste like with full peat? Because it is a peated whiskey.
It reminds me of like a smoked fish.
Yeah.
On the nose specifically.
Yep.
But then the palate has a little bit of it too with the meatiness of the peat.
Yeah, there's a little bit of brine and seaweed in there too. Yeah.
Almost
Yeah.
like a smoked trout
It's a very complex
with lemon zest on it.
dram.
And lemon zest. Yes, a little lemon zest, some herbs on it. Yeah,
So
like a smoked whitefish.
yeah, I'm gonna have to
It's going to handle water just fine.
think about the score on this for that.
Oh man, that is the nose and palate are very matched. Like when I'm getting, and I just had second sips, and I think it's even richer on the second sip now. I'm getting more flavors, but it's what we talked about. It's woody, it's peaty, it's got some herbs and spices going on. I don't know what they all are. A
little bit of clove or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's nice. It's got some. It's definitely in the wheelhouse of the peatiness world.
Oh man, this is really well done.
You like this?
So for how old is this? 9 or how old?
You pulled it up, brother.
So the barreling was predominantly 2016 was when most of the barrels were laid, but there are some older ones in there. I think there was some 2014 and some of that. So you're talking this, and they don't put an age statement on here.
Yeah, but
So it's probably not very old.
I mean, it was bottled in 22. I'm
So
pretty
you're
sure.
talking 5 to 9 year old whiskey, essentially.
somewhere in that neighborhood.
5 to 8.
if
probably.
that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jesus, that's pretty good for what they're doing.
Because
And I think we paid $89 for it. 85 or 84.99.
Are you trying with the water?
I'm just
yet.
getting ready.
I'm
to-
getting like lemongrass and lavender, and there's clover still there. The peat's kind of tamed down just a little bit, but it's still like it's holding together very well, which is exciting. It's a very interesting whiskey.
So you want to go last, is what I heard.
Yeah, so I've had a few Ardnamurchans before. I haven't had this bottle, and it wasn't as impressed as this one. What they've done with this bottling is really well done.
Wow, this is a
enjoy-
nice soot at the end
So-
there in the finish.
I actually had some cream come over the very late finish. I was like, it kind of covered over the peat part of the finish, really pleasant. I was like, that was nice because it was a sweetness that came over to the top of the peat.
I found with water that the peat wasn't as prominent on the initial palate, and you got a lot more of those heather and lemongrass and things coming in, and then the peat kind of rolled up in the end, and that's I'm getting it more in the finish now.
I love the fact that this bottle is less, not that it's less about the peat, but the peat isn't the main thing. It's almost competing with some of these like floral and sweet notes that you wouldn't think would be able to handle
Yeah.
the peat level that's in this whiskey. And they're just like, yeah, we're cool.
Well, that's the beauty. We found with a lot of young peated whiskeys, they're really aggressive, and you got to be careful with them.
It's true.
Whereas this, probably because it's not all peated whiskey, they were able to bring down some of that aggressiveness of the peat and found a balance that I haven't had before.
I want to go first, boys, but I'm
Go.
struggling
I got
because
a note on the nose that I've never used before.
What's that?
So it's a peaty, but you guys had to like replace the lava rocks on a grill. The new ones, when you open the bag and you pour that new bag of lava rocks, and that's what I'm getting on the nose.
interesting.
So minerally, or what's it?
it has a little bit of mineral.
Sort of like an earthy, but like a rich note in there. I don't know. It's
Like
definitely
diatomaceous earth.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm talking about.
What does that taste like?
You just get me.
I don't think you're supposed to eat that, but
No, but you can smell it.
It'll kill everything in your gut. You're good to go. All right, I'll go.
Go, yeah.
I'll go. I think I've said it my piece. It's. I don't think it's super complex. I think honestly, the two words that you said earlier are perfect for this. It's a Highland peat. It's like a match made in heaven. It's got a little bit of floralness. It's got a nice peat. It's soft. It's gentle. Smoked. I said smoked fish, smoked trout, lemon zest. Those are the big ones. There is a little bit more seasoning going on with it, but nothing that's really like standing out that I can pull. I'll say the price is spot on for this. It's not an age statement. We talked about that, but it's a new distillery. Super excited for what they're doing. I don't know, boys. I'm not like as impressed with this one as you guys probably are. I'm gonna give this one a 2.5.
Okay. All right. I love this bottle. And I love it for a couple of reasons. Number one, to me, it gives it, like I said, it's not just the peat. There's some other things going on that are interesting but separate from it. And I think that there's a lot of, like, you know, you drink Islay Scotches and they all bring their own kind of flavor profile. But a lot of it is dependent on the peat and the level of the peat and how old it is, you know, to kind of tame down that peat. To me, this has that younger, aggressive peat going on, but it's matched by a lot of these flavors that I wouldn't think would be able to hold up, but they do. And to me, that's super interesting. So you've got, you know, floral and honeys and lemongrass and, you know, all these, you know, some earthy tones to it, but then the peat's there as well. And they're just kind of competing, but in a good way. So I really enjoy this. And what did we say, $80?
90.
So
90.
I'm going to give it a 3.5. Like, I really enjoy this. I'll be interested to let this bottle sit for a little bit and see how the flavors develop as now that it's open and we've had a couple drinks out of it, how it goes. But tonight, 3.5 for me.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna on the combination of these two. Drew, you said it wasn't complex, but what I heard you say it is complex, and I do think it's more complex than normal. But I don't think I have the time to get into that complexity. I haven't put the puzzle together yet. I can't. It's not come together. There's a lot going on in there. I like some of it. I can't really put my finger on some of it, so I don't know if it fits really the way I want it to or not. There's some really nice things going on. I like the sweetie, the cream notes that come over in the late finish. There's some interesting fun stuff. The peat is great. I think if I were able to sit with this dram for 45 minutes, I'd give it at least a good solid 3+. This moment, I got to give it a score in the next 10 seconds. I'm going to say 2.5. I think it's going to grow. I think it's going to get better. It's changed dramatically since I've put water on it in the last 7 minutes. But it hasn't come together for me yet. There's a lot going on in there, and I can't make my mind up. I just got, right now, I'm 2.5, torn between that and a 3, and if you came back and asked me in 15 minutes, it'd probably be a 3.
Okay.
That's really loose.
Fair.
So this is my wheelhouse, and let me tell you something. They do a good job with this. I've had other Ardnamurchans that I was expecting this to not be as good as it is. So I will say they did a great job with this bottle. This is for people who like peat. If you don't like peat, you won't like this bottle. But if you like peat and you know peat, and you're used to and you've tasted other lighter whiskeys that have those floral, light, straw flavored notes in it, and you understand that, this has all of that put together. Most peated whiskeys aren't good enough to put those other lighter flavors in there and still be able to get them. So this is really, really well done. At $90, the bottle is a bargain. It's not a 4, and I'm trying to figure out why I wouldn't give it a 4. I like a little more richness, a little more sweetness in it that might put it up to a 4, like ruby fruits.
That's where I was.
If I got some more richness and cloves and some of those flavors kicked in, they're not going to be there because I've explored this whiskey. It's a solid 3.5. I don't know where this guy's getting this. These guys are getting their 2.5. This whiskey is incredibly well done with a broad range of flavors in it that everybody can find if you know what you're looking for.
There you go.
Good whiskey.
So
One thing I will agree with all of you guys. It needs time.
Yes.
You need time with it.
Yes.
Well,
I think it needs
Be
time
careful.
as well.
Too much time, I'm running up.
That's true.
Running up. So
No,
yeah,
So we're at a solid 3.
three, solid
yeah,
3.
It is solid, and it's changed since I've already spoken. It's gotten a lot
I'd
sweeter
give it
on the
a
nose.
group 3.25 because my vote counts more.
Oh, I see. I see.
There you go.
Hey, super
just a-
excited for this.
Yeah.
Right,
Cool.
and they're getting a lot of praise for good reason, right? I
Yep.
mean, if you're not excited
Well
about
done.
what they're bottling, then you just need to try some of it.
There you go. 3 it is.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. Ardnamurchan.
One.